Hanging with Deez. Here we go. It is almost Super Bowl time. I'm your host, Deez. Of course, with me, as always, Bubba J and special guest, Bubba J's boy, Hunter, rocking the Vegas Knights jersey there. I see you out there.
Heck yeah.
All right. So we missed a week.
Yep.
Life happens. And,
Had,
and
had
man,
to
we
take
missed
me a
a
little
lot.
adventure.
Oh, yeah. Where'd you go?
Well, I went and picked up my new boat motor.
Oh, that's right. I forgot
Had
about
to
that. Yeah.
had to go to God's country up an hour and a half northwest of Duluth, Minnesota.
Oh, wow.
Uh,
How
and
weather good?
foggy, really foggy, but the weather was okay. It rained a little bit, but not much. But we got just north of La Crosse, and my fuel pump module decided to quit. So 6 hours and $1,000 later, I was back on road.
Oh, damn. That
Yeah,
sucks.
yeah, it was not. It wasn't a good day.
Oh, so well, anyway, we missed championship week.
We
Now,
did well on here. We watched it though.
yeah. Um, just real quick, wrapping up. We didn't do our picks, but our results from the divisional round. I was 2-2 because I lost the Bills and the Texans, and Bubba J was 3-1, losing only the Bills. The championship week, I picked KC and the Lions just because I don't know something about that Lions team.
Man, they look
Uh,
good.
and San Francisco did not look all that great, so I just went with my gut. And sticking with his preseason prediction, Bubba J took the Ravens and the 49ers. So why did I fucked up. You weren't 2-0. You were
No, I
one
should
and
have
one.
been 1-1 as
Yeah.
well. Yep.
Yep. So that changes the old standings then. To me being 8-4, Bubba J being 7-5 for the postseason.
Yep.
So once again, I beat you. Haha.
Who
um,
cares? the
real
hats
quick,
on the hats on our heads beat us weeks ago. So
that's no shit. Let's talk about those championship games. Starting off with the KC Baltimore game. I said it in preseason. I said it when this show first started 2 years ago. Lamar Jackson cannot win in the playoffs. He
it,
folds like cheap laundry.
it's like a Scooby Doo episode. You take the mask off, and it's Dak Prescott.
Yeah. He had 2 turnovers himself, and then they had the bad Zay Flowers
Yeah.
fumble.
And I've said that all year is Lamar has to stop giving the ball away. I think he's
Yep.
got 9 fumbles this year or something like that. And again, he turned it over twice in the biggest game, one of the biggest games of his career. And he
Yeah.
can't
And
win
they
ball games like that.
couldn't cover Travis Kelce with a blanket. I
No,
mean,
that dude's a beast, though.
yeah.
You
And
know, you put him on line, put a middle linebacker on him, an outside coverage linebacker, a safety. The dude's going to find space. He's going to push over. He's going to give you a shoulder. He's going to catch the ball. I mean, just
yeah.
like that touchdown he caught.
And
You
he's
know,
now become
he,
the all-time leading postseason receptions,
yep.
breaking Jerry Rice's record. So hats off to them. Look, as a Steeler fan, I know the country is sick of KC, sick of the whole Taylor Swift thing, but as a Steeler fan, I fucking loved it. I mean, there are people out there, Steeler fans, that were rooting for, oh, let's root for our division. No, fuck
No,
that. Fuck
yeah.
Cleveland. Fuck Cincinnati. And most important of all, fuck Baltimore. Sorry for the language, Hunter. But yeah, earmuffs. so
Anything he hasn't heard before.
I loved it. I hats off to Baltimore though for stepping up in the second half, shutting out KC. But the simple fact is Lamar couldn't get that offense going, and when he
No,
did,
and their defense was struggling the first half.
yeah,
You know, it was just it was not a game. I was
critical
definitely
mistakes
expecting a
at
closer
critical
game.
times.
Yeah,
You had the boneheaded taunting penalty by Zay Flowers, and then to make that just a little bit sweeter, the guy that he taunted is the guy that punched the ball out on the 1 yard line that
right.
caused that touchback.
Yep.
So yeah, as a Steeler fan,
Just like
I
they
absolutely
just like they
loved it.
scripted it. I mean, you know, just like you dreamed it up.
Well, but see, here's the thing. You saw the logo and everybody was talking about, oh, look, it's purple and it's red. It's
Yep.
going to be the Ravens and the 49ers. It's almost like the NFL was like, shit, they're on to us.
They're on to us. Yep.
So, but here we are. NFC Championship game. Man, I have a hard time thinking of a bigger implosion than what we saw the Lions go through. I mean, you talk about the big comeback between Jacksonville and was it who was it? Who did Jacksonville come back on?
When?
Last
This year?
Just last year. Oh, the Chargers.
Oh, the Chargers, yeah. Last playoff, yeah.
But again, that's early. That was like the wild card round, divisional round, maybe.
I think it was first round, I believe.
And then you had the Buffalo Houston debacle years ago. That was the divisional playoff game. This was the NFC Championship game. And for that first half of football, it looked like the Niners didn't have a chance. They didn't have an answer for it. But
they come out in that first drive and scored that, marched all the way down, scored that touchdown. And the game started when I left work. So I got to see that first drive kind of waiting on the gate so I could leave. And then I got home and my dad's calling me. He's like, oh my God, are you watching this? Well, no, I'm on the way home. It's 21 to something or 21 to 3 or 21 to 7 what it was. And I was happy. I went home, turned it on. I was like, hell yeah, here we go. Finally, the Niners getting what they fucking deserve.
24 to 7, I believe, was the score at halftime.
Yes, 24 to 7.
And they turned it on there, and then you had the first. I mean, you could call it boneheaded or whatever, but you gotta give Dan Campbell credit. He lived by the sword and he died by the sword.
Yeah,
and
he regrets nothing. He even said that in his post game. He goes, "I do not regret going for those fourth downs." But that's it. I mean, that's his play style. That we're gonna punch in the mouth, we're gonna get back up, take kneecaps, the whole nine. But there's a point in time to stay a head coach in that league where you take the points when you can get them. Especially in a fucking NFC conference game. If you have a chance to get the points, you take them.
He can sit at that podium all day long and talk about how he would go for it every single time. But I guarantee you, if he comes down to that situation again, at the very least, the one time he's kicking that field goal.
Sure.
And
just one of those, you're a tied game.
Yeah.
And you take both, you win by 3 if everything else plays out the same.
When that momentum shifted, man, it was over. There was nothing that the Lions could do to answer.
And you're on the road, and when you give up 2 stops like that, and your defense, you make 2 fourth down stops. Now your crowd's in it. Your defense is fired up. Now your offense is fired up. Momentum is a real thing in this league.
Absolutely.
It's this. And
all
that
sports.
You put holes in your sails, man.
Yeah.
Detroit they scored 0 points in the second half. Or no, sorry. 3 points.
Yeah.
3 points in the second half. You put up 27 or 26, whatever it was in the first half.
Yeah. People don't understand that.
My math is wrong, but you get it.
When bad things
one time.
Yeah, when bad things start to happen, then it becomes a mental game.
Yep.
Then you're trying too hard to make that play. And then all that does is lead to more mistakes, overthrows, drop balls. It's a snowball effect, and there was nothing that they could do to get it back. Yeah. And the Niners ended up rolling.
And I honestly think that Shanahan was outcoached. I really do. I think he was outcoached for the majority of that game.
Yeah. At the very least for 2.5 quarters.
Sure, the experience came out later in the game, but that was after the momentum was taken away.
Yeah. Yeah. When it was tied at the end of the third quarter, I sat here and I said the Lions are done.
Yep.
They've let them back in the game. It's over. And
they scored what? It was 17 points in 11 minutes. I think is what it was.
And 27 crazy. Unanswered.
Yeah. Bang, bang, bang. Just done.
Yep.
Yeah, it was. It was a great first half.
Yeah,
It was
yeah,
not.
especially for Lions fans.
Yeah.
And again, they're not going away. I think that I think that this was 1 year too early.
Yeah. I mean, you went from what 3-13 to 9-8,
Yeah,
and then 12-5 in a conference game, a conference championship game.
yeah. No, they're definitely trending in the right direction,
He's
and
pretty
hopefully
much
they'll.
already inked his extension.
Yep.
That's for sure.
Ben Johnson basically told the other teams that he's not coming back or not seeking jobs anymore. He wants to
Right.
come back because he's got unfinished business. So yeah, they're going to be a force next year. The
Absolutely.
question is, will they be able to hold off Green Bay, who looks like they're going to be a force as well, depending on obviously what happens
Sure.
in offseason free agency and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So
Well,
that leaves us.
and Green Bay's young. I don't think they really have any major contract issues right now as far as their
Not
skill
that I'm
players.
aware of. Yeah, I don't know what their cap
AJ
situation is.
AJ Dillon is a free agent, and I don't know the defensive side of the ball, but their offense should be fine, which sucks
They
because
fired their defensive coordinator, and word on the street that's just coming down today is that Boston College's head coach is leaving to become the Packers defensive coordinator.
really,
Yes,
okay,
Halfley, I believe is his name. Yeah, Jeff Halfley,
hmm,
Boston College head coach, is leaving there to become Green Bay's defensive coordinator. So obviously he's wanting to make the switch. Hopefully has a couple, 2 or 3 good years, becomes one of those hot names, and becomes a head coach in the NFL.
very
But yeah,
possible.
that news literally broke 2 hours ago, I believe. Speaking of the coaching carousel, a lot has changed since last we left you. Obviously, the two biggest stories are John Harbaugh, I'm sorry, Jim
Jim
Harbaugh
Harbaugh.
going to the San Diego Chargers, which again, not to you know pat myself on the back here, but I called that a long time ago
Yep,
because of the fact that he wanted a franchise quarterback, and Justin Herbert might be one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL if he gets,
absolutely. And you
some
still got
decent
Austin
coaching.
Eckler, Cam Akers. Cam's not there anymore, is he?
No, Cam Akers,
He left last year.
yeah, he went to the Rams, got hurt,
Yep.
and I think somebody signed him this year, but I think he got hurt again, but I'm not 100% on
Yeah.
that, but yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Harbaugh's got everything. He's got the pieces there. He's got Bosa. He's got Herbert. He's got Eckler. He's
The
got Williams.
safety,
Yeah, he's got pieces there, and he's going to draft well. You know that. So,
he has one of the Ravens assistant head office guys coming over to be his GM.
yep,
Thanks, John. Uh, so yeah, I expect him to turn that team around sooner rather than later.
sure.
And then the other big news, as far as coaching goes, Bill Belichick doesn't have a job.
Were you surprised?
Yeah, I really was. I
The
thought
more,
for sure he would either go to San Diego, Dallas, which we know what happened there, or Atlanta. And
the more I thought about it, is Belichick had so much of the reins for so long that no other owner was going to give that up. And I think that it was either the Raven or the Falcons or the Chargers came out and said that he wanted so much control and decision making power that the owner's like, no, that's my and the GM's job. That's not your job. We're not looking for that type of stuff.
yeah,
And
his track record over the last couple of years as far as drafting and free agents is not good.
no, and I think he's asking too much. I think people are finally seeing the writing on the wall that maybe it was Tom Brady and not Bill Belichick that fueled that Patriots dynasty. And
Yeah,
he may well not find a coaching job at all.
well,
Period.
you figure he's not not coaching this season. So come around next year, he's going to be a year older. So that'll put him what 72, going on 73. Like
Yep.
who's going to take unless you've got a team that is ready to go, plug and play type situation.
Right.
I mean, if I'm an NFL owner, I'm not hiring a 70 something year old man to come in and rebuild my program.
Unless you're Pittsburgh.
No, I wouldn't want him.
If Tomlin's on his last year, if they don't renew him,
they're going to renew him. Rooney already came out and said that they are going to work on that in the offseason. He had a big interview and said that I'm look with the news that we got a couple days ago, it's a step in the right direction. And then with what
do you like that news? Because I saw the preliminary news and I was like, oh fuck, really? I mean, I'm laughing. I'm like, please, yes, hire him because that would be awesome.
Here's the good thing. So yeah, obviously we'll get into it now. The Steelers have hired Arthur Smith as their offensive coordinator. I'm not overall thrilled, but you have to look at the picture and see the personnel that we have with Najee and with Jaylen Warren, and then don't necessarily look at what Arthur Smith did at Atlanta, because it wasn't good, but look at what he did in Tennessee with a mid-level quarterback, which is probably where we're going to be, whether it's Kenny, Mason, or Tannehill for that matter, which I'm not thrilled about in any way, shape, or form. But if they can fix that offensive line, and you got Najee Harris, who they've already pretty much said they are definitely going to exercise his fifth-year option, and Jaylen Warren as your 1-2 backs, the way that they performed at the end of the season with Arthur Smith's the way he can scheme a running game, I'm not mad at it. I'm not doing cartwheels over it, but it's better than what we had. It's a proven offensive coordinator who has at least shown the capability of being a decent leader, even though he kind of fumbled the ball. And I think a lot of that could have to do with they gave him shit for quarterbacks. Desmond Ridder proved to not be worth a damn. Taylor Heineke, not all that great.
Sure, but you have Bijan fucking Robinson. You have Kyle Pitts. I mean, you have weapons. Draw plays up to utilize them. Jet sweep, something.
Yeah, he did start to use them a lot more there as the season went on. So I don't know.
Well, probably because his seat got hot.
Well, yeah. Again, I'm not thrilled about it. But it could be worse. I maybe would have liked Jared Johnson coming from Houston, but at the same time, this is a quarterback's coach who's unproven as a coordinator. Maybe with the group that we have, we need a guy that has actually done it and done it well for several years. Take away the couple of rough years in Atlanta. He's walking into a much better skill position talent pool than what he had in Atlanta. Pig. So it is what it is. I'll take it. I am encouraged by what Art Rooney said in his interview the other day about how, I'm sick of losing in the playoffs. We're going to, whatever changes need to be made are going to be made.
Oh, so he pulled a Jerry Jones?
Yeah.
We will do whatever it takes. The fuck you will, liar. Then go sign Derrick Henry.
Because that's what I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
He's working out in Dallas. He's down there right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't be shocked if they go that route.
I would love that. We need a 3-down back. Tony Pollard's a free agent. Get rid of him. You're going to sign Dak to a stupid fucking contract, so you might as well give him something to work with. You already got CeeDee Lamb. You got Blake Ferguson and Hendershot and the other guy, the really good tight ends. You need that 3-down back. We need a really, really good middle linebacker. Our secondary is fine. we're missing a couple pieces, and he needs to go get them.
Yeah.
And you're not going to find them in the draft. Not what we need. I mean, you might get lucky, but we're picking what, 26th or some shit again.
Yeah.
You're going to get an offensive lineman, maybe a defensive tackle, but I would go offensive lineman if it was me.
Yeah.
We have a couple guys that are getting a little bit older. One guy who's injury prone, Terrence Steele, needs to be fucking shipped out to somewhere. I'm not a fan of his at all, but Derrick Henry sounds right. I mean, Zach Moss is a free agent. I would love to have him when he filled in for JT over in Indy.
Yeah.
I would love that. We need that's one piece that we're missing is a 3-down back.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting offseason for both of our teams. I'm excited by what I saw there at the end of the year. Things started to come together. And one of the things that really caught my attention was Art Rooney said that Mason Rudolph showed what our offense could be when it has good quarterback play.
Mm-hmm.
But then basically in the same paragraph, he said that we still believe in Kenny Pickett and we expect him to get better every year. So he's got that. Kenny's going to be on the team and he's going to be given a shot. We already know that.
I foresee Arthur Smith convincing them to go get Tannehill, the experienced, veteran quarterback. They're going to trade Rudolph away while he's still worth something.
They can't. He's a free agent.
Oh, is he? Well, then, just let him walk and put Pickett behind Tannehill and have him battle. Because Tannehill's not the greatest. But I can definitely see that scenario happening.
He's every bit as good, if not better, than Mason Rudolph, I would think. And he would be familiar with the system. So if we're not going to make a splash as far as quarterback is concerned, I guess we could do worse than a Ryan Tannehill.
Right.
If we get our defense back healthy and plug in a couple of holes, shore up the defensive line, and plug a couple of holes, i.e. center and right tackle or left tackle, depending on what they end up doing with Broderick Jones, then I firmly believe Pittsburgh is a championship contender. We're not a 6-11 team coming into next year. We are a few pieces away, if done right, to being in contention to make a run. So,
here's your top 5. Let me see. Let me sort this somehow. No, that didn't work either. Here's your quarterbacks that are available right now. Kirk Cousins is a free agent.
Would love it.
He's 35 years old. He's unrestricted. Ryan Tannehill is 35 years old, unrestricted. But then here's the list after that. Jacoby Brissett, Tyrod Taylor, Marcus Mariota,
pass.
Sam Darnold,
pass.
Jameis Winston,
pass.
Drew Lock,
pass.
Baker Mayfield, who's going to re-sign.
Yeah, he ain't going anywhere.
Garner
Minshew. I would fucking take Baker Mayfield in a heartbeat.
Absolutely. I'd take Baker Mayfield right now.
Cleveland fucked him over. He's a winner.
But, I mean, I could go on and on.
I'd take Gardner Minshew.
Tyler Huntley, Flacco, Dobbs, Stick, Sudfeld, Gabbert, Josh Johnson, Wentz, Carson Wentz, fucking Super Bowl champion.
Yeah, but he's injury prone. He turns the ball over a lot.
Oh, he's garbage. Yeah, but still. Yeah. But, I mean, come on. Brandon Allen, Trevor Siemian, A.J. McCarron, Matt Barkley, Mason Rudolph, Jake Browning, Nathan Rourke. There's no one. I mean, who do you get?
Well, if they don't re-sign Mason for cheap, which part of me thinks Mason won't want to come back. I think in his mind, he might feel that he's done enough to to compete. So maybe somebody will take a flyer on him.
He's worth $1 million, is what they're saying on this site.
Yeah, I mean, somebody will sign him. It's just whether or not he wants to come back to Pittsburgh. There might be just too many skeletons in that closet.
Mm-hmm.
I would not be mad at Kirk Cousins at all,
No.
even as a 2-year stopgap, whatever. Tannehill, again, not thrilled, but at least he would be coming into an offense that he is familiar with. So Gardner, I would take Baker, but Baker's pretty much already off the table.
Right. And jumping back to Dallas, the running back, just real quick, there's quite a few big names on here. Not sure if you saw this list yet or not. But Derrick Henry is obviously the biggest name on there, in my opinion. Josh Jacobs, Tony Pollard, Saquon Barkley, Austin Eckler, Gus Edwards, Devin Singletary, Edwards-Helaire, DeAndre Swift,
I don't think
J.K. Dobbins, Kareem Hunt.
Eckler, I don't think is going to want to leave now.
No, he's going to sign for sure. But they're free agents, man. I mean, then you got Zach Moss down here who's cheap, 26 years old. I mean,
Eckler wanted to trade out early in the season, but now with Harbaugh coming in, yeah, he'll probably take a discount to stick around
for sure.
Josh Jacobs, I think, is the same way. He probably wanted out
at the
beginning now they got of the year.
Coach.
Yeah, he even said that I'll come back on the cheap if AP is the guy, and he's the guy. So,
yep. Yeah, and actually all of our running backs except for the rookie for Dallas are free agents. Rico Dowdle and Pollard are both free agents. So the only one we got is that Deuce Vaughn.
Wow. Yeah, so going to be interesting.
Going to sign a running back, and I hope they make a splash. Go get Saquon. Go get Derrick Henry. Again, like I said, Zach Moss. I would be if they could get Zach Moss and any of these other top 4 or 5. I'd be in heaven. You get Zach Moss behind Derrick Henry, or Zach Moss behind Barkley, or even Devin Singletary. Saquon Barkley is a free agent.
You think he's going to leave New York? You think New York's going to let him leave?
It's either let him leave or franchise tag him for twice what he's worth.
Yeah.
The franchise tag right now is it's either 24 million or it's 12 million. I can't remember which one. Either 12 million is the going rate or 12 million is the franchise tag and 6 million is the going rate. But either way, if they franchise tag him for the second year in a row, mind you, they're going to pay him way more than if they were just to sign somebody.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They're going to pay him twice as much money than any other running back that they could sign. And I think it's 12 million.
Do you know what Dallas's cap situation is? Because I know we have to do some work. We're going to have to do some restructuring. And
I know they talked about when they did that extension, when they're talking about doing the extension for Dak, they were going to rework it so they had room. But right now, we are 19.7 million in the red on cap space.
I think we're around 20, 21, but again, there's a lot of restructuring that's going to be done. And, that's one thing I never really worry about. And the NFL is a joke anyway when it comes to the salary cap. The Saints have proven year after year that you can just kick the can down the road. I think the Saints coming into this coming season are 70 plus million over the cap.
Yeah. And that Terrence Steele I keep talking about, he's hitting us right now for 11 million. And if we cut him pre-June 1st, I don't know how this works. Hold on.
Yeah, like Trubisky is counting 10 million on the cap.
Yeah, Terrence Steele's counting 19.2 million. And where he's a negative 8 million for something. I wonder if that's the cap hit. If we cut him as 8 million and he's taking us for 19 million right now, and he's a terrible right tackle.
Yeah. And we're in the same boat. There's a lot of guys on the team that aren't going to be there next year, but they're not going to go anywhere until after June 1st, just because of the way those cap implications work.
Yeah, we got 7 million in dead money. We're paying Zeke Elliott 6 million right now to sit on his fucking couch.
Wow.
Yep.
The other big coaching news of the day: the Seahawks have hired the Ravens defensive coordinator, Mike McDonald. So again, anything that makes Baltimore weaker makes me happier.
Sure. Yeah, and I'm not a Baltimore fan, but I just saw what they had. I saw how they were, of course, the coach and their weapons. They had the weapons to go all the way. But any powerhouse team like that we could possibly face in the Super Bowl, get rid of them. Fucking right. Get them out of there.
Yeah. Did you see what the Eagles have done?
I did. Kellen Moore and Vic Fangio.
Vic Fangio.
Yep.
Yeah. Who I find kind of funny because when Vic Fangio was fired by the Dolphins, you literally had Dolphins players posting on Instagram, like kicking rocks and everything. Apparently he wasn't very popular in Miami.
No.
So we'll see if he can get Philadelphia back
He's
on
one
track.
of them. He's one of them old souls too. I think there was a little bit more youth and a little bit more kind of do whatever you want down in Miami.
Personality clashes for sure. Yeah,
definitely. And they're not going to take that shit in Philly. They really aren't. So I think Fangio would be okay. I don't think anybody would be mad about it up there.
I would hope not. I mean, he's got a proven track record. So let's see. Was there any other big news?
What do you think the Cowboys should do, Hunter?
Get Saquon Barkley with halfback and Derrick Henry.
Saquon and Derrick? Yeah, we don't have that kind of money.
Yeah.
One or the other. Better. Which one would you want?
Saquon. I'd take Saquon.
You take Saquon over Derrick Henry? You take Mr. No Knees over Stiff Arm King?
Just based off record and skill.
I think Saquon would be okay if he had, because he'd play his old team twice. He's in the same division. He'd get to still go against the the Eagles and the Commanders. But if Dallas wants to make a splash, and if they really want to be serious about contending for a Super Bowl and winning a fucking playoff game, you have to make a big name splash.
Or probably Derrick Henry.
You need to go get a Derrick Henry. You need to go get a Saquon. You need to make a blockbuster trade at the draft. This is the year you draft a quarterback in Dallas as well. I mean, Dak's going to get an extension, but it's going to be his last one. It's going to be his career ender. You need someone to learn from him, get familiar with the thing. That way, when and if he's done, even if it's done early, gets an injury, something like that, someone's got to fill in. And this should be the year they do it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
A third rounder, fourth rounder, something like that. I wouldn't reach for nobody. If you have a decent one still available late in the second round, grab him.
No, this is a really deep quarterback class, I believe.
Yeah, it's one of the better ones as far as depth, for sure.
Yeah, you could get a guy like Joe Milton from Tennessee.
Yep.
A little bit later on, he might take a couple more years to develop, but the guy's got a great arm and a winning track record.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be guys out there.
Sure. And I think it's the year that you should take a quarterback in the draft. I really do. And before the 6th or 7th round too, not just someone to throw in your practice squad. I'm talking someone that you're really thinking about putting behind Dak, putting above Cooper Rush, not bouncing from taxi squad to taxi squad. Someone you're actually going to put in there as your real number 2.
Yeah. As far as the running back situation, I mean, you would get Derrick Henry, I think, cheaper, but you get so much more in the skill set with Saquon.
Sure. And Zach Moss too. He's young.
I mean, with Saquon, you get Zeke and Pollard in one back.
Right.
And then you could go out and get a Zach Moss or, a power only guy to, you can't, as much as he can do it all. He's proven that he can't stay healthy enough to be in there and be touching the ball 30 times a game.
Right.
I mean, look at Christian McCaffrey, who is that kind of back, and how banged up he gets all the time as well.
Yep.
The NFL, these guys, they're too big, too fast, too strong anymore, and the running backs just aren't going to be able to take that kind of punishment.
And that's why you're seeing a lot of tandem backfields, and but you still need that guy. Like, look at the Lions. Jahmyr Gibbs could run that backfield all year, no problem. Would they be as productive? Probably not.
Yeah.
But you add a guy like Montgomery, who's, a little bit older, a little bit stronger, not quite as fast, but vision's still there, athleticism still there. And you put those two alternating downs, you get to an NFC Championship game.
Yeah.
I mean,
absolutely.
That's exactly. And then you have the offensive line's good. So we take an offensive lineman first round, maybe even another one in the third round, get your decent quarterback in the second round, go sign you a nice 3-down back, a Derrick Henry, a Saquon, someone like that. And then sign even Devin Singletary behind one of those two. Devin would sign cheap.
Yeah.
Even
Dalvin Cook's going to be out there.
Yep. Or Tony Pollard again. I wouldn't mind having Tony Pollard back, but you got to have someone in front of him.
Yeah. We had enough money. I'd take Zach Moss behind Derrick Henry.
Well, we could do Derrick Henry and Zach Moss too. I just don't. We're not going to do that. If they were going to do that, they'd sign Tony Pollard and then they'd go get somebody, big. But what's going to happen is they're going to sign Pollard. They're going to go sign somebody else from somewhere, like a Devin Singletary or something like that. Then they're going to draft stupid, not get a quarterback, and they're going to go, see, there we go. There's our pieces. No, you dumbass. That's it didn't do anything.
What happened with Dalvin Cook? He signed with the Ravens. He never saw the field.
He didn't play. Yeah, they didn't even go in. I don't know why. But and just like Zach Ertz signed with Detroit, and he didn't even make the flight. So
I don't know, maybe a just in case we get to the Super Bowl kind of thing. I don't know.
And Zach Ertz said, he goes, it's a good city. The head coach is a former tight end. I can learn from him. We got a couple other young guys. I mean, why wouldn't it? It felt like a right fit. He goes, why wouldn't I sign there? So maybe.
And he could come back. I mean, if he liked it and everything, and Dan Campbell liked what he saw, I could see them going Laporta and Ertz next season.
You definitely got to keep your eye on both of them.
Yeah. And same thing with Dalvin Cook. I mean, I don't know, maybe he couldn't grasp the offense quick enough, or they didn't want to shake the tree too much. I don't know, but he'll be another name that'll be interesting to watch as we get into the offseason. This is, in this era of fix it now, these off seasons are going to be really interesting and exciting to see what teams are trying to do.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, it's a lot of pinball, back and forth. Back when my dad was watching football, you had the same guys on the team their entire career. There was no trades. There was no
free agency didn't exist.
Yeah, it wasn't that. And then even in the 80s, that Herschel Walker trade was, that was huge. That was unheard of.
Yeah.
And then, I really think that's what kind of started the whole trading thing in the NFL, was that Herschel Walker trade. Now, I mean, there was but that was a big one. That was like, oh my God, look what we can get for a star player. Let me see what I can get for this guy. And then, let's see if I can. Let's do these two. I mean, I really think that it sparked the snowball of what we're seeing today.
even though it turned out to be one of the most lopsided trades in history of sports, and single-handedly built a dynasty.
It sure did, but they knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
And they said, I guarantee this, if someone's stupid enough to do this, let's take advantage of it.
Yeah. But they might lose the title of worst trade in history with this whole Deshaun Watson thing, because that is definitely in contention the way things stand right now.
As far as
Look what it did to the Texans.
As far as the outcome of the other team, yes, absolutely. But the Browns did not get the Super Bowl winning dynasty caliber in return.
Well, neither did the Vikings.
No, but you know
when they got Herschel. But they instantly turned Houston from a 3-win team or 2 wins, whatever the hell they were, to a playoff contender, and they still got more picks coming.
Well, and they lucked out with CJ.
Yeah,
they lucked out. They reached for that. I mean, that what's his name? Their second first round pick,
Will Anderson.
Yeah, everybody knew he was good.
Yeah,
I mean, we all knew CJ was good too. But when you're talking about quarterbacks from college to NFL, it's really 50-50. You don't know how well they're going to do.
Yeah, I did not expect CJ to be what he turned out to be.
I don't think anybody did.
No. I mean, he's an Ohio State quarterback.
Not his first year anyway.
Right. So I'm just excited because for the first time since Todd Haley, we're bringing in somebody to run the offense that is completely new to Pittsburgh. Somebody from completely outside, fresh eyes, with a very big, in my opinion, talent pool as far as his skill players. Quarterback, obviously, we'll see, but he's walking into 2 stud receivers, 2 stud running backs, stud tight end. We got to plug in that 3 and 4 receiver position, although Calvin Austin, he's going to be around. I think Allen Robinson will be let go or maybe brought back on a vet minimum thing. But I could see a guy like Tyler Boyd fitting in really well with Pittsburgh.
Yeah. So you got Mike Evans, Odell, Curtis Samuel, Tyler Boyd, Cedric Wilson, DJ Shark, Paris Campbell, Hardman.
There's some nice 3s in there.
Yep. Josh Reynolds, Hollywood Brown, Calvin Ridley, who he'll re-sign, I'm sure. Noah Brown, he'll probably re-sign in Houston. Michael Pittman, if they don't figure out their quarterback situation, he might walk. So,
from Indy,
yeah.
What's to figure out? I mean, it's going to be AR.
Is he going to? When did he go down?
Like week 5 or 6 when they decided that he was going to have the surgery.
Okay, I thought it was later than that. But
yeah, if it wasn't much later.
I take T. Higgins and OBJ.
You take T. Higgins and OBJ? No, I don't want either one of those.
I'd take T. Higgins over OBJ. I think OBJ is definitely on the downward slide, but
yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of big names out there. I think Baker might have a lot to do with Mike Evans because he wants Mike Evans. He even said that in the post game. He's like, I want to come back here, but I want him here with me.
Right. Well, who wouldn't? I mean, the dude's 9 seasons in a row or something like that, 1,000 yards receiving.
His entire career.
He's had
1,000 yards. So
yeah. And only 2 of those were with Tom Brady.
Right. Well, do you want to pick the game now, or do you think?
Yeah.
Maybe do our next one right after the Super Bowl, or not that day, obviously, but
right. Well, we have. So it's not this Sunday; it's the next Sunday.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we can pick now. Why not?
All right. Super Bowl pick then. Go ahead. We were both
We don't want Kansas City to win.
You don't?
Kermit the Frog will get even more cocky.
we both had one pick as far as who was going to the Super Bowl. I got the AFC right. You got the NFC right because I think I had the Eagles over. Wow, what a fucking joke that turned out to be. I had the Eagles over the Chiefs in a rematch, and you had the Ravens beating the 49ers.
I did.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah, he did. We got it written out.
That was my preseason prediction was 49ers and Ravens.
Oh, you had it got dropped on your head multiple times then.
Both those teams made it to their respective championship games to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, made it to the championship games, not the Super Bowl.
No, but still, it's close enough. I didn't pick Dallas or some stupid shit like that.
Yeah,
even though when we did our week 11 or 10 or 8, whatever it was,
the redo, yeah.
I did throw Miami in the mix to go to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
They were hot, though, man. They were looking good. No, Chiefs and Niners. You're taking the Niners?
I take Niners.
I've said it once. I've said it 100 times. It is hard and almost impossible to beat Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes in the fucking playoffs. It's done. I mean, they're what, 3-5? They're 3-2 in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
So, but man,
this is a rematch of what? Super Bowl
rematch.
50,
they've already beat them once. I don't. What?
So, you want me to make you change your mind?
No.
You,
So,
okay.
I'm gonna pick Kansas City.
Oh my god.
I don't even know why. Just, they're wearing the same color jersey that they wore when they beat them the last time. It's Andy Reid. It's Patrick Mahomes. It's Travis Kelce.
How dare you say Patrick Mahomes and say Kermit the Frog?
Whatever.
Say it.
I'm going Kansas City. I want them both to lose. I mean, if that would be possible, but I got to take Kansas City.
Yeah. People have been singing his praises, and rightfully so. And he did, a masterful job in the second half of that game. But the bottom line is, in my opinion, what it's going to come down to is Brock Purdy versus Patrick Mahomes in the biggest game of his life. I got to take Patrick Mahomes in that.
Crazy.
Sorry, Hunter, but I mean,
it's not the quarterbacks going head to head, it's the teams. So you can't just go based off the quarterbacks.
I understand that, but you have to understand that Brock Purdy has only been in the league. This is his second year, and he's looked pretty good, no question. But when you're like, this is the Super Bowl, things are different. It's a different mindset. What are you whispering about over there?
True.
To set him straight. I don't know. I don't know. The stage, I think it might just get too big for Brock. And you're talking about this Chiefs team that they have been to 6 straight AFC championship games. 5 Super Bowls?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And this is Purdy's second NFC championship game in a row.
Yeah. I mean, he's benefited greatly from that defense, and I think it's going to be a really tight game.
And if you put the defenses side by side against each other, the Niners win that one in my opinion.
Kansas City's defense is no joke.
It's sneaky good. It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah,
but
Mahomes and Kelsey get all the headlines, but if you look at them
the Kansas City
statistically,
defense is good.
this is the best Kansas City defense that they've had this entire run.
Right. But that Niners defense is something, man.
Yeah, no doubt.
They're good.
It's going to be a really good game. I think it's going to come down to who makes the bigger mistake first, and just going off of experience and somebody that's been there under the bright lights multiple times. I think the person that's going to make the biggest mistake is going to be Brock Purdy.
And I don't even think it's going to be mistakes. It's going to be a typical Patrick Mahomes finish. You're going to give him what seems like not enough time. You're up by 4. You got under a minute to go. And you pin him down in between, below his 9-yard line. He's got 90 plus yards to go, and he's going to score a touchdown on you and win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Brock Purdy would not be able to do that.
I don't believe so either. The Niners have the edge as far as their receiving core.
Oh, yeah.
Kelsey is awesome, but he's Kelsey. But then they've got, Rashee Rice,
who's the best receiver they have.
Yeah, and he's made some great plays, but I don't necessarily think you put his name in there with Debo and Brandon Ayuk and everything.
No.
And then you got, Valdez Scantling, who knows what he's going to do. He's either going to drop it or he's going to make a spectacular catch to seal the game.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, I got to go with the quarterback that, he's been down this path multiple times and been on both sides, winning and losing. And then, like you said, Andy Reid is very difficult to beat, especially when he's got 2 weeks to prepare. So
sure. Yep.
As much as I am on that, I'm getting sick of Kansas City boat. At the same time, again, being a little selfish, I don't want another team to get 6. It's bad enough that we have to share it with those disgusting fucking cheaters in New England.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I think experience is going to win. And I think Kansas City is going to win probably, I'm going to say 27-24 KC.
27-24. I'm going to go 31-30.
Ooh.
I'm going to go 48-35.
48-35.
San Francisco?
47-35 San Fran. They lost last time, so they gotta go this time. They gotta win it this time.
So we took KC. Hunter took San Fran. And you said 27-24?
Yep. The current line is San Francisco is a 2-point favorite. The over-under is 47.5.
And Hunter, you said what, 48?
No, 47-35. Winning by 2 touchdowns.
That's a lot of points.
It's a fuck ton of points.
Do what just let CMC do what he does in any other game. Playoff games. Put the team on his back in the final couple minutes. Let him run.
That is how a white man runs a football.
He will go beast mode and win.
He's gonna pull it. He is all Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you have it.
There it is.
Aldonzo and Deez. I don't know anyone who ends up watching this later on or whatever. If you haven't heard the news, we are no longer on Cities 92.9. Our contract expired, and we chose not to renew. We are in talks with other stations, but the show will continue on YouTube and on Spotify and everything. and we'll keep everybody posted on that on the new Eldonzo and Deez webpage, which is eldonzodeez.com. And that's got links to all the socials and everything. We will have a new show up this coming weekend. As far as us hanging with Deez go, we will probably try and get back here a day or within a few days of the Super Bowl, talk about the game, and then start getting into our off-season planning. We'll come up with our wish lists for our respective teams. Thank you, sir. Yeah, that is the new website for the Eldonzo and Deez show. Has links to, like I said, all of the socials for that. And then obviously you can follow me at Hangin with Deez on X. And then Hangin with Deez is also on Facebook under the Everything Steelers name. So have you seen the Vince McMahon stuff?
No. What's going on with Vinny?
Oh, you'll want to read the story about this lawsuit. He's done. He has resigned. Some details of this lawsuit have come out with sex trafficking and things like that. Like, yeah, it's bad. Yes. Yeah. When you have time, read the details of that lawsuit, because he is
New York Times and every stuff.
Yeah.
An ex-employee accused him of sexual assault.
Yeah, but the kind of that is one evil motherfucker. Let me just put it that way.
Oh, he's always been that way. I mean, I knew something was up.
Yeah. So he has basically resigned. Of course, he's denying everything, but man, some of the details in this lawsuit, it ain't looking good for old Vinnie Mac. So he is officially out. Has completely washed his hands of everything WWE.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll have to look into that, because we've only got one, maybe two more NFL shows as far as weekly NFL shows.
Yep.
Yes, wrestling's definitely a topic I can get on, and of course we got baseball coming up and hockey's in full swing.
Oh yeah.
I know you're not much of a hockey connoisseur, but
no, I follow it a little bit. I mean,
this one's going to a game tomorrow.
Oh, nice. Which one?
Up in the Quad City Storm.
Nice. Bloomington, Illinois just got an
ECHL team. ECHL, yeah.
ECHL, yeah.
Yep, the Bloomington
Bison. Yeah. So I'll check that out. I used to enjoy going to the Riverman games every once in a while. Watching it live is a lot of fun. So hopefully they can put together a decent team, and they're in that's a solid league.
Oh yeah, 100%. That's a big league.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's NHL caliber guys.
Yep. So yeah, I'm excited for that. So yeah, we'll be back after the Super Bowl, and then like I said, we'll put together our little wish list and what we want to see, and follow draft planning and free agency and all that good shit. So
yeah, and comment, message us, whatever. Let us know if you want to talk about something specific. I'm sure we can squeeze her in. We just come on here and ramble anyway.
Right. It's just two idiots and sometimes three.
Pretty much zero prep.
Yeah.
A little bit here and there.
Yeah.
Just weekly, whatever you can remember throughout the week.
Yep. So, all right, folks. Thanks for watching. We will catch you after the Super Bowl.
Yes, sir.
See ya.
Peace.